What's up guys, it's your boy Naveed Central back with another amazing video, and today, due to popular demand, yes, I'm making a video on not only what I ate to get ripped, but what I eat to maintain being shredded and ripped or in a good shape, or however you want to put it, right? So as many of you know, I got a six-pack in 90 days back in July. It started on the 25th of April 2020, and I told everyone, including yourself, if you're watching and you watched that video, I said I'd get a six-pack by 25th of July 2020, and I did it. MashaAllah. So, praise the Lord, I was able to do it. But how did I do it? And a lot of you have been asking me what I eat. Obviously, I have got diet plans out there and stuff, but I thought, let me make a proper video and share with you guys, the kinds of foods I was eating and I'm still eating to maintain my physique, and what, if anything, right, you could do by listening to this video and learn from, right? Yeah, I don't know if that made sense, but yeah, anyway, basically, so in this video I'm going to be showing you all the foods, telling you how I eat each food, like for example in terms of the calories, etc. I'm not going to go too much into the calories, but main thing is going to try and show you the foods that I eat, just so you know and you're aware of what I eat to stay shredded. Does that make sense? Okay, so obviously you guys know I do mukbangs, where I eat so much sometimes, right? Sometimes I have another influencer with me or a celebrity. We're sitting down and we're eating so much. We're like, yo, how do you eat so much you must stay in shape? I'm like, no, I maintain a strict diet throughout the week. Literally, like, that's what I do, and this is exactly the kind of foods that I eat, right? So let's see what kind of foods we've got here. So yes, the first thing I'm going to share with you is this. Now you're probably thinking, eh? I know there's probably a little bite taken out of it. Obviously, it's a burger. So you're probably thinking, okay, how are you eating a burger to lose weight? That don't even make sense, okay? So, the first thing I'm going to tell you is this, right? So when you're dieting, you want to basically make sure that when you're losing weight, to lose weight, you're in a calorie deficit. Does that make sense? There's many different equations out there. You can check them out on Google. I might even do a video at some point about that. But basically, when it comes to dieting, you have to make sure you're in a calorie deficit. So if you're a woman, it's usually your calorie deficit. That means basically your calorie, your deficit has to be basically, you have to eat less calories than your limit for the day, right? To maintain. Does that make sense? So let's say the average maintenance to maintain your body is about 2,200 for a guy and probably about 1,600, 1,700 for a girl. You got to make sure you're eating at least 300 to 500 calories less than that maintenance, right? So let's say, with women, I'd say you should have less than about 1,450 calories. Let's say that, yeah? A day. Does that make sense? It might sound like a lot, but it's not, trust me. And as a guy, I'll say you shouldn't have more than about 1,900 a day. Some people say 2,000, but 1,900 is a good place to put it. You understand why I say that throughout this video, right? So why I showed you a burger was because I have these burgers nearly every day. Does that make sense? What's in this burger? So it's a halal beef burger. I usually get from Tesco's, from a company called Shazam's. They're not paying me promotion or anything like that. But basically, this is a gourmet beef burger. I get the lamb one as well. And basically what I do is I've used the 1 calorie spray. I get it from Tesco. 1 calorie in the olive oil, sunflower oil, whichever one you want. It doesn't make a difference really to me. And then I use Leerdama cheese. This is light cheese. It only contains 50 calories per slice, which adds up, right? Yeah. And it's absolutely amazing because it means I can still get the taste of cheese, and it's proper nice. I ain't gonna lie to you, it's proper nice. And I get to eat it with my burger. Usual cheese slices probably between 80 to 100. And when you're losing weight, you realize one thing: every single calorie counts. Even if it's 5 or 10 calories, it counts towards the day, right? So let's say this burger, right? So this bun's probably about 160 calories. The burger is probably about 190 to 200 calories, and the slice of cheese is about 50, as said. So that is going to be about 400 to 410 calories. Now, the burger contains about 16 to 17 grams of protein. The cheese contains around, I'm sure it was between 5 to 7, but yeah, 5.9 grams of protein. And the bread probably contains about 2 or 3 grams of protein as well. So that's about 23 to 25 grams of protein. Now listen, why am I speaking about protein? The reason I'm speaking about protein is because if you're watching this video and you're thinking, okay, I don't just want to lose weight, I want to get ripped, right? Then now you can understand why I'm speaking of protein, because to get ripped and to maintain any muscle you have to have around about 1 gram of protein for every pound that you weigh. Does that make sense? So obviously if you're going to convert that to kgs, it's usually just over 2 to 3 grams per kg. Does that make sense? So let's say if you weighed about 64 kg, probably about 140 something grams of protein in the day, and that's so you don't lose muscle. Some people lose weight, but obviously it doesn't mean you're gonna have a nice body. Does that make sense? Sometimes they say, oh, why haven't I've lost my muscle? What's happening? The reason is that because the reason for that is you never maintained your muscle. You never ate enough protein. Does that make sense? Obviously, if you just want to lose weight, perfectly fine. You don't have to really look at the protein as much. Still should have probably high protein based foods, because high protein based foods tend to help you with fat loss and in terms of speeding the process up, right? Yeah? Okay, cool. So the burger, I love these burgers. What I have it with is my lighter than light Hellmann's mayonnaise, right? Now, you know, why I love this mayonnaise is because I've actually, right now, I've actually picked up the wrong bottle from the kitchen, which shows when you live in a household full of different people, right here. But this is a light mayonnaise. I usually use the lighter than light mayonnaise right here. Basically, the lighter than light mayonnaise is only 10 calories, but this is still right. This is 40 calories. Does that make sense? It's not bad. But the usual Hellmann's mayonnaise, check this out, guys, right? The usual Hellmann's mayonnaise, believe it or not, is about 100 calories per dollop. So you're adding that on. The 11 calorie one, you just whack that on. Then it's only going to be 420 calories. If you added the normal mayonnaise, that's 500 calories, an extra 100 calories. Does that make sense? And this is counting towards your daily goal. Why do you have to look at the calories? The reason is because you have to burn more calories than you eat. That's how you lose the weight. And on average, a person would tend to, burn just over about 2,000 calories a day, just say, right? Yeah. You ever burn calories when you're sitting down? I'm actually burning calories right now. But obviously, the more intense you do exercise and stuff like that, that helps. But there'll be another video on that. Okay. So that's a 400 to 500 calorie meal. Okay, here's another meal right here, which I'll have. For example, this is 2 smoked haddock fish cakes, right? These are delicious, right? They're from Tesco. They contain like a cheese sauce in them, and they're amazing. And basically, what I do with these guys is that I will basically have these, right? So these are about 233 calories, about 13 grams of protein, with potatoes. So a few potatoes, 2-3 potatoes. And some mushrooms or some broccoli. Does that make sense? And that would equal like a 400 calorie meal. Now you're gonna understand a theme that's coming on here in this when I'm speaking about this, right? You're gonna see a theme. The theme is I tend to have my calories, my meals in terms of the calories around about 400 calories. That's what keeps me going. Does that make sense? So I'll have it around about 400 calories per meal, which means I can have around about I wouldn't say 5 meals a day, but 4 meals a day I can have. Does that make sense? Which kind of sick, that kind of snack in between. And I'll speak about the snacks in a moment. But basically, guys, each meal, I'd wanna basically have each meal at around about between about 25 to 40 grams of protein. Does that make sense? If I have 3 meals with 40 grams of protein, then the next one probably kind of still have around about 20. It's still fine. Does that make sense? So you want to make sure the protein intake is high, especially if you want to get ripped. And by the way, when I'm saying all this, I do the same when it comes to losing weight and staying shredded. But I'll tell you about maintaining the body in a little moment. Does that make sense? But basically, here I've got the chicken drumsticks. Now these chicken drumsticks are tandoori drumsticks I've got from Tesco, the company called Shazan's Halal, right here. Before the haram police get at me. So basically, these are delicious. Usually, I prefer the peri-peri ones. I'm not going to lie, but the date obviously was longer for the tandoori ones. So I've got these ones with me today. But I usually do prefer the peri-peri ones. They're fine. They also do jerk as well, jerk chicken. But I just prefer it, and it's easier for me because I don't need to put the marinade on. Just whack them in the oven, 45 minutes, and it's done. And obviously, it's amazing so it's done. Does that make sense? And guys, by the way, guys, each drumsticks around about, about 130 to 150 calories. So that's about 300 calories. Then with the potatoes, probably could come up to about 100 calories. So So that's 400 calories including the mushrooms, right? Yeah, mushrooms don't contain much calories, that much, only about 20-30 calories per 100 grams, so which is pretty cool. And that meal there is probably around about 35 grams of protein. Does that make sense? Depending on the size of the drumstick, it could be even 40 sometimes, but it's pretty cool. So guys, you know, when I mentioned something with the smoked haddock fillet fish cakes, I actually said something wrong because I said it comes with 400 calories. It actually doesn't, because 100 grams of potatoes and this would probably be about 300 calories. So what I'll have on top of that is a protein yogurt. Now I love these protein yogurts because they only cost like £1 and they're amazing because they're made from Nestle. They're delicious. There are other brands out there as well, but the beauty of these is they're only 95 calories per pack. 95 calories. Does that make sense? Right? Yeah. You know, and in fact, I'm gonna come closer just so you can see these this actual thing. Just check that. Oh, does that make sense? So like, they're actually a pretty cool brand. I love them. They're delicious. This is my favorite flavor, the white chocolate one, and I literally have it with a lot of my meals. And the second meal that I'd have it with is with my salmon and potato, because salmon only contains around about 20. Salmon only contains around about about 200 calories, right? Yeah, I got froze for a second. So 200 calories, and it's around about 24. This one's okay. This one's 20.4 grams of protein. Does that make sense, right? And it is 211 calories. So that means you can have a few potatoes, right? By the way, I'd have one more baby potato than this, but because of the higher amount of calories of the chicken, I tend to have 2 baby potatoes. With the chicken, with the salmon or this, you could probably have 3 or 4 baby potatoes, all right? They add up. And I used to, not anymore because I can see it in my eyes. But I actually, even now sometimes, mainly before, but I used to measure my food. So I used to weigh it, put it on the scales, and check food scales and see how much does my food weigh. Because sometimes you look at the calories, you can't tell, you know, in terms of that, how many calories is that. So you weigh it, you Google it, and you find out. And that's another thing I never mentioned. So sometimes, you know, imagine you've gone places and the calories isn't on there, right? Type in on Google, how many calories does this contain? How many calories does imagine it's your cheat day. How much does a fish and chips contain, for example, right? I'd say about a small fish and chips about 800 to 900 calories. But I'll speak about cheat meals on another video mainly. But I will mention a little bit. Once a week, you can have a cheat meal. Before I move on to the rest of the food, I'll say that once a week, you can have a cheat meal, but that cheat meal should be within the calorie limit. Does that make sense? So if your calorie limit, if you're a woman, it's let's say 1450 calories, as long as you're exercising well 4 days a week. Then if your limit is about 1400 calories, then think about it, right? You know, you don't want to be having a massive pizza because that's going to be over your limit and you just wasted it. Sometimes that's why people mess up. They'll do so good throughout the week and then they waste it by eating so much on the cheat day. And they might not put on weight, but they're not going to lose weight, right? Now, that might make sense to you, right? What I said at the beginning of the video, how do I stay shredded? How do I stay in good shape? Why? Because I'm still eating in a deficit throughout the week as if I'm losing weight now. So I'm not, trying to lose weight now, but the thing is, I'm eating at a deficit. So when I do my mukbangs once or twice a week, I can go over my limit, but then I won't lose weight. I'll just maintain it. But if you're trying to lose weight, you can't do that. You have to make sure everything is under the calorie limit. Does that make sense? And that is a tip for it. So make sure, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes I fast throughout the day. Fast. Even when I do my mukbangs, I'll fast throughout the day. I won't eat anything really, anything at all apart from water. I'll drink water. By the way, you have to have 2 liters of water a day. What? Did you just see that? I was stuttering. Basically, 2 liters of water a day. Reason is, your body will start to will give you a bloated look if you don't have 2 liters of water a day. That's 8 glasses a day. This is a 1.5 liter bottle. I'll usually carry this with me because this is easier just to guzzle back. You know what I'm saying? Like, look. Look, it's gone there. Look at that. Bro, that's probably over that's about a glass and a half. You know what I'm saying? I've just drank like that. So it's mad. You know what I'm saying? It's easier when you have a small bottle. You tend to preserve it a bit more. When it's a big bottle, It's easy to guzzle down. It's just amazing the way it works. I don't know why, but even when I have a small bottle on me, I tend not to drink that much water. So I've learned that I'll always have like 2 glasses in the morning first, and then I'll have this. Because each cup is about 250 milliliters or 200 to 250, and then I'll have that bottle and I'll cane that, and I'll make sure I'll try and cane that before we get into late evening, because then you're going to keep waking up at night and going toilet. And trust me, that's happened to me on so many occasions. And it even happened last night. Had to go toilet about 3 times. Ruined your sleep. So yeah, you will have to go toilet. You drink so much, but less at night time if you don't drink towards the evening that much. Okay, cool. So as I'm saying to you, look, remember what I'm saying. So let's look at the theme. Let's cover what we've done so far, right? So I've mentioned 400 calorie meals. I've mentioned you want to make sure you have enough protein. Does that make sense? In your meals, and keep them small and spaced out. So I will have each meal around about like every 3 hours, between 2.5 to 4 hours, right? Yeah, 3 to 4 hours really. And then that is amazing. So it keeps you going throughout the day, and also that also means that your body, it speeds up your metabolism. The more times you eat throughout the day, smaller meals, your body tends to sort of work faster in order to burn the fat, because it's just saying, yo, look, it's like a psychological kind of thing that your brain's saying, no, look, there's so much coming in, too many meals coming in, you've got to burn fat faster, right? Yeah. So by the way, you might be thinking something. You might be thinking, okay, cool. This guy, right, is eating a burger, but most people say brown bread. Now that is an interesting point, because initially, you know, I've done my diets a few times, by the way, right? Yeah. The video that's sort of going viral now, which is my insane 19-day body transformation, where I got 6 pack in 90 days. That isn't the first time I've got a 6-pack. I've done it before a few times, and you'll see if you go through my my YouTube channel, you'll see that I did it before, but this time my body came out better. But the beauty of it this time was I actually learned how to diet properly. Anytime I'd ever got my body before, especially the first time, guys, you want to know what I used to eat? Do you want to know what I used to eat? I used to eat, I swear to God, no word of a lie, I used to just eat brown bread and boiled chicken. Not even grilled, boiled chicken with a tiny bit of chili sauce. Boiled chicken! Guys, taste cold boiled chicken. I take that food out of me, you know what I'm saying? Cold boiled chicken. That uni people just thinking, why are you eating that? How can you eat that? And then I used to have tuna tins, right? With no mayonnaise, nothing, not even lighter than light, nothing. And I'd put them in bread, full tuna tin. Guys, it was, in brine as well, not even any oily one. I wouldn't still have the oily one now, but still, it was, you know what I'm saying? And then were my meals, literally, so, you know, I learned over time that you can be flexible. And yes, having brown bread and, you know, sweet potato and stuff like that, they're complex carbs, does that make sense? So they tend to keep you fuller for longer, even like oats and stuff like that, which I've got here, which I'm speaking about. But yeah, they keep you fuller for longer. So, you know, they're known as slow digesting carbs. So basically when you eat brown bread and you have like, even if I have a wrap though, if I have a wrap, right, my wraps are brown wraps. Does that make sense? So whole wheat. The reason I have that is because it does keep you fuller for longer. And they're slow digesting, as I said, to keep you fuller for longer, and they'll stay in your body for longer. Whereas these, even white bread, for example, it does digest faster. And obviously, it's not really good, especially when you're really starting your diet. Now I've got to a point where I can still have, you know, white brioche bread, and I'm fine. I don't feel hungry, because if I do feel hungry, I just have water. And so that's another tip. But whenever you feel hungry, a lot of the time you're not hungry, you're thirsty. So have some water, have a few glasses of water, even especially after you've eaten, because they say you actually feel full 10 minutes after your stomach's actually full. That is crazy, isn't it? So, you know, have you noticed sometimes you might be at a restaurant and you say, you know, you're still hungry, and then you order some dessert or something like that, and then when it comes, you're not as hungry anymore. The reason is because it's probably taken about 10 minutes for them to bring it. Sometimes in some places, it take way longer than 10 minutes. But I'm not even going to go there. But you want to keep your greens up as well. Asparagus, broccoli, you know, have these kind of things. I see, being on a diet, although you are going to have things that do taste nice, not everything is going to be nice. And I love broccoli, but I know a lot of people don't. But see, dieting, you got to make sacrifices in it. You got to make sacrifices. You can't expect everything to be an easy ride. Otherwise, everyone would have a 6-pack. Does that make sense? Right? So, Oats. I mentioned oats. So I love these. These are the golden syrup. I should be being paid for promoting these guys, right? Whereas the oats so simple, right? I love the golden oat syrup because that's what the beauty of these guys is, right? They actually have it in sachets, so I know exactly how much I'm getting. So in terms of calories, I've got a sachet there. This is going to be about 228 calories with semi-skim milk, and it is 228 calories with. Okay, I thought it was more protein. Just realized it's only 10 grams of protein though. So 10 grams of protein, right? I thought it was 16, but that's the protein ones. I used to have them as well though. Well, basically, I'll have that in the morning. So only 228 calories. Remember what I say? Maybe I'll have a yogurt with it and a banana. So that'll be about, what, 27 grams of protein. Or, you know, a protein shake, which I'll move on to as well. But yeah, man, as I said, you want to maintain that protein level, high protein levels. And that's why I have Impact Whey Protein. Guys, this is from My Protein. It's super cheap. In fact, you know what? I'll even pop the link to this in the description below just so you know exactly where to get it from. Basically, guys, it's amazing because this only contains, I think, 110 calories. 103 calories. This is the salted caramel flavor. I love it. And literally, it just, you know, if I'm missing out on protein, especially throughout the day, bam, go to one of these down and you know you've got your protein in as well. Does that make sense? Right? And it's a nice little tasty snack. It's like a little milkshake in it without the milk. Well, you can add milk to it as well if you want. Skimmed milk especially because less calories. Does that make sense? Also in my burger sometimes or with my food, I love this reduced fat hummus. Does that make sense? Guys, a quarter of this is about 80 calories. What does that say? This says 84 calories. See, I've got to a point where I know it just by looking at it now. But I will never have a quarter of it. Honestly, I'll just take a little bit, tiny bit, and I'll put it in. I wouldn't have a quarter. So that's probably be about 10, 20 calories, which just adds a bit of taste to my things, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, a little wrap. We've got snacks like Dairy Lee Dunkers. These are about 9 grams of protein, which is them bad. You know what I'm saying? Which is pretty cool. These are a snack. And you're probably looking at Mr. Kipling. Why haven't I got Mr. Kipling's here? The reason is, guys, yes, I'm not a believer, and based on my research, you know, I've learned that you can eat these kind of things. You can have snacks. You know, when I first started dieting, I used to have no snacks, nothing like this. Honestly, guys, no chocolates, nothing. Does that make sense? Guys, the Snickers here as well, but I don't know where I put it. Where's it? Yeah, here's the Snickers. You get me, guys? Got the Snickers as well. And Pombe crisps, only 64 calories. We could still have a baked crisp packet. You know, crisp packet, you get away with them. Any crisp packet you get away with, man. I'll tell you why it's within the calorie limit. So once you've had your protein intake for the day, for example, let's say, okay, let me give an example, right? Let's say you had the oats, right? So 228 calories with the protein yogurt, right? Let's say it comes to about 300 calories, 330 calories. Who is stopping you from having this, which is about 137 calories, 137? 146. Who's stopping you? Why? Because that'll work out to 338, 238, 500 calories. 500, but you still look 500, but you still got the rest of the day left, right? 900. Salmon, potatoes, and a protein shake, right? 400 calories. So what's that? So 5, 9, 1300 calories. And if you're a woman, obviously you're coming towards the end there. Does that make sense of your day? So you could have another snack maybe, right? Maybe have a few grapes. Not too many, but a few grapes. Strawberries contain a lot less calories as well. But you know, if you're a guy, you still can have that burger as well. So that's about 1700 calories. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, you've had enough protein for the day. It's been amazing. And that's basically it. And I've also got this as well. John West, a lunch ago. I don't really have these all the time. I just bought it the other day, so I thought I'd put it in the video. It's about 20 grams of protein and less than 350 calories. If you're on the go, you can get these. And guys, you know, this is it. I have other things as well, something like cod fillet. Cod fillets contain only 100 calories, which are cool. So salmon, as I said, contains 200 calories. Salmon contains 200 calories, right? But this cod or sea bass fillets, right, which actually cheaper as well. They contain only about 100 calories and about 25 grams of protein, which is amazing. Because if you think about it, look, if you had a cod fillet with a few baby potatoes, probably come up to about 200 calories with a few mushrooms or broccoli, 200 calories. That means you got an extra 200 calories in that meal. What are you aiming for? But at the same time, especially for a woman, if you want more meals, you could base your calories on you could just have 300 calorie meals instead. Another way you could do this, guys, is you could separate your meals and have 3 meals throughout the day. That's another way. Sometimes I do that. So especially because it's lockdown, it's easier. So fast in the morning. Don't eat anything in the morning. Just have water. So let's say you woke up around about 7, 8 o'clock. Don't eat anything. Just have water throughout the day. When it comes to about 12 o'clock, now you can have a bigger meal. Does that make sense? Now you can have a bigger meal because look, you've still got the calories left. So especially for women, you could do that. You could space it out to, you could have 12, 3, and then 6 or 7 o'clock you could eat. Does that make sense? So if you had 400 calorie meals, that'd be what? Or breakfast was 5, 4, 9, 13. Then you still have an extra snack later. As a guy, you could probably have what? 5, 10, 15, and a few snacks in between. Guys, as I said, you can have chocolates, you can have cakes. Just don't do too much for you in terms of your health, especially. But you know, you can get away with it if you're out there and you know you see something and think, okay, can I fit that into my calories? If it fits in, it fits in. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Obviously, there's a lot more to this, guys, right? That's why, obviously, I write diet plans. I go extensively into them. I give sample meals. But I wanted to make a video to give you value. I wanted to really share this with you because a lot of people have been asking me, you know, how do you stay in shape when you do your mukbangs? Or, you know, how did you lose weight? And basically, it's the same thing for me because, as I said, because I do the mukbangs throughout the week, I'm trying to eat like I'm in a calorie deficit. But don't get me wrong. Me, because I do my mukbangs, sometimes I put on a tiny bit of weight. Does that make sense? And then I lose it. So, like, my weight fluctuates now, but, you know, mashallah, I've been able to do it. And that is about it, guys. If you got any questions, message me on my page, Naveed Central. Naveed Central 1, Naveed Central 1 on Instagram. And best DM me and let me know if you need anything. Also, I said check out the protein. I'll leave the link in the description, hopefully. And yeah, this is it. Hopefully you enjoyed it. You got value from it. And this is about it, guys, yeah? Peace and love. You know what I'm going to leave you with? Naveed Central. Guys, make sure you like, comment, and share. In fact, you know what? Like, comment, and share right now. I want every single one of you to comment. That ain't going to happen, I know that. But everyone who's subscribed at least, come on, try to comment and tell me what you thought about the video, man, and whether you received any value from it and what you want the next video to be when I do it in terms of diet. Does that make sense? Peace and love. Take care.